May Day demonstrations also became flashpoints of the anti-war struggle. May Day protests played a significant role in the Portuguese Revolution of 1974, as well as in the uprisings against apartheid in South Africa in the 1980s. In Toronto, there have been May Day events and actions for decades. Today, however, marks the 10th year of the May Day Toronto Committee. The committee formed around the known as Illegal March on Ottawa that was organized by Solidarity Across Borders in 2005. The committee came together to organize a May Day that incorporated anti-capitalist, anti-ableist, anti-racist, anti-patriarchal, and anti-colonial commitments. This May Day, our march highlights struggles around the following 8 themes: Indigenous sovereignty and self-determination, migrant workers' resistance to border imperialism, solidarity with working class struggle globally, anti-poverty and anti-austerity organizing, student strikes and academic labor battles against neoliberalization, environmental justice, militant rank-and-file labor movements, and gender justice. Now we can share. Woo! And now I'm going to invite one of the organizers from the May Day Committee to speak to some criticisms that were raised around this year's themes.
Thanks, Patty. My name is Yogi. I organize with No One Is Illegal Toronto. Thank you. I'm here to talk about some of the criticisms that have been raised, particularly over social media over the past couple of days. Early this morning we wrote a short message and posted it on social media, and I want to take a moment here today with all of you present to read it out. We take seriously the criticisms were voiced specifically about what Maddie just said, the themes for May Day this year, and about the glaring lack of anti-black racism within those themes. So this is the statement that we wrote this morning. We take seriously the criticisms voiced about not highlighting anti-black racism in our call-out and as a theme this May Day. We agree that this should have been a priority and recognize that this omission reflects a lack of active and conscious outreach to black organizations in the city. This May Day has been organized by a coalition of roughly 24 grassroots organizations, coordinated by No One Is Illegal Toronto, the Latin American and Caribbean Solidarity Network, and the Ontario Coalition Against Poverty. We acknowledge that an explicit commitment to anti-black racism and to black organizing in the city must be a priority for future May Days. We'd like to thank organizers from Black Lives Matter for reaching out to us. We will have a speaker from the Toronto Coalition of Black Lives Matter join us today at St. James Park, which is where this march is going to proceed and end. We encourage everyone, all of you present here today, to show your support in numbers tomorrow at the From Toronto to Baltimore Black Lives Matter rally at the Toronto Police Headquarters at 5 p.m. We will also be coordinating with the organizers to share some other resources around this. We are organizing this year, as in previous years, we've centered the resistance of people of color and Indigenous peoples. We've emphasized that racism be centered in each theme, as we believe that you cannot talk about labor struggles without talking about racism. However, this year there has been a glaring omission. We want to remain accountable to that mistake, and we hope to build a May Day organizing space next year that will not replicate these same patterns. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yogi. Some quick logistics. During the march, when we get moving, there's going to be 2 sound trucks on either end of the march, and there will be an accessibility van in the middle. The closest accessible subway stations are Queen and Osgood, and on the way back at the ends, the access van can drop people off at Queen. We have a fantastic ASL interpreter right here to my right, and he will travel with us on the truck at the beginning of the march. The performances and the singers will not be ASL interpreted. Everyone wearing a red armband is a marshal. Everyone with an orange hat is a legal observer. Big cheer for those folks. Also really excited that this year there is a kids block called the Bubble Brigade. Can some folks in the Bubble Brigade make some noise so we can see where you are? That's where they are.
All right, so we're going to have 4 speakers and 2 performers. Then we're going to march over to St. James Park with a quick stop at the Mexican consulate. So Rachel's going to introduce our first speaker.
We're honored to have Wanda Whitebird here with us of the Bear Clan. She's a member of the Mi'kmaq Nation from Acton, Nova Scotia. She currently resides in Toronto and has been active with No More Silence for 10 years. She'll be leading us in an opening ceremony as well as speaking to us. Thank you so much, Wanda.
Bonjour. My name is Dancing Star. I come from the Bear Clan. I'm a member of the Mi'kmaq First Nation, and the territory I come from is a little place called Button Beck, which is about 19 miles outside of Antigonish, Nova Scotia. But I live here in the territories of the Mississaugas of New Credit, or as we like to say, Toronto. So I've been asked to come today to welcome you all to this territory. Also to recognize the ancestors of the land that we are upon today. And that we remember all of those that have gone on before us, that have brought us to this place that we are today. And so, today for me, May 1st, I think of all our murdered and missing Indigenous women in this country. All our moms and grandmas and aunties and sisters and nieces. You know, nobody really knows how many. You know, 1,182, 2,000, but there are many. I have met many families in my travels across this territory. And I've held their hands and cried with them as they talked about their last one. You know, recently in Edmonton, they, 10 years later, they found their lost one. These are stories that happen every day, and which this government, or Harper, says he doesn't have to do anything about. No inquiry, it doesn't matter. And so as we stand upon these lands that are the Mississaugas of New Credit in this special day of May 1st, recognizing International Workers' Day and thanks for the weekend, an 8-hour workday, because I do appreciate both of those, that we stand together and fight for all women, that they shouldn't be missing and murdered. I should the men. They tell me there is just as many men missing as women, Indigenous women in this territory, in Canada, and it's happening all over the world. We're supposed to be a civilized society. We're the ones that are supposed to be leading. I don't know what we're leading in at all, actually, because I can't think about that. But I know we're leading in something because we're here today, right? Yeah. So that's why we formed No More Silence 10 years ago. And on February the 14th, we do ceremony in our way outside of the police headquarters. And we pray for all of those missing and murdered women and their families. And what we said was that it doesn't matter if there's nobody there, that we're there. Because we want them to know that we haven't forgotten. That they'll never be forgotten. And so that's what I ask all of you, is that, please don't forget our women and our children, our missing women. And as we march through the streets of Toronto today, remember that. Educate people, and people are like, anyway, educate people, and I then asked the curator.
Oops, sorry.
To watch over all of us as we march through the streets of Toronto. Open the minds and the hearts of the people who are going to hear our message. To know that we send it with love in our hearts and knowledge. And we are taking care of our generation and the next generation, my grandchildren and their children today. So I say, Miigwech, you can get on all my relations.
Yeah.
Of cotton, but the fruits of the slaver smell like something rotten. Slander-freed slaves, sugar cane bitter sweet. Just like Alabama, slaves would hang by its feet. No retreat from defeat. We meet the deceit. Open combat, arms stacked on that war drum beat. The sons of Madiba, the daughters of Asada. Resistance in our sonnets. No need to raise an armament to raise revolution. That's at Nat Turner. Don't need no gas burner, cause we pack a sojourner. In a grand circus, we chant verses and chant curses on your aunt's purchase. Cause damn it, our bank's worthless. We spit fan service, plan with a grand purpose. But then, they ask us to jump like Mike. Better, worse, twerk like Miley. Big grin, bug-eyed smiley. Cold spitters been turned to court jesters like a used car salesman talking about a chrome Lexus. For instance, the press appropriated our resistance. How you think a poor slave is in existence doing dirty work for peanuts like Pigpen? Dog, we waging war against extinction. Yo, Martin Luther King fought the marksman shooter sting, marking a future swing toward marketing super binge. I said, Martin Luther King fought the marksman shooter sting, marking a future swing toward marketing super binge. Let's go! So I got one more piece for y'all. Shout out to all the organizers, everyone for coming out. Happy May Day, everybody. This piece right here is my first track released off my next album. It's called Precarious Work. Check me out online, socialisthiphop.com, youtube.com/socialisthiphop. And this one right here, any of y'all know it, please feel free to join in and sing along a little bit. You the people, stand up. We the people, get your hands up. Unless you're in handcuffs, I want to see you amped up. We the people, keep them hands up. You the people, stand up. We the people, get your hands up. Unless you're in handcuffs, I want to see you amped up. We the people, keep them hands up. It's for Ralph Chaplin, for Tom Morello. It's for the workers and the wobblies. What's up? Hello. Let's have a dialogue about private sector pirate laws. The right to work for less is guidance and a fight for jobs. We sign a union called Pride because we going haywire. There's that hay market riot mob. Flipping burgers with a bachelor's degree. Send it to you on my master's. What's the matter to me? Call me a millennial. Facebook status, Instagram addict, PlayStation, Xbox habit. They tell me get a job. Okay, where's the job? You got some nerve, sir, some wherewithal. Why you think graffiti kids is trying to mark the spot? You don't think we'd rather have a pension, a parking spot? You don't understand. Must be in the dark a lot. I can't even get an interview at Target, dog. You the people? Stand up. We the people. Get your hands up. Unless you're in handcuffs, I want to see you amped up. We the people. Keep them hands up. You the people, stand up. We the people, get your hands up. Unless you in handcuffs, I want to see you amped up. We the people, keep them hands up. Yo, you work at Mickey D's? What's it like there? Work at Starbucks? How's the child care? Is she babysat? Where your wages at? Rent, food, utilities, are you making that? Does your hard work seem to have an odd worth? So your arms are damn, does your car work? Do you ride the train across the whole city maps in the first 2 hours, making that back? Now, how much are you whip as a whole? $11 an hour seem a little bit low? I mean, did you even know? Did you ever think if we all walked out, stores closing in a blink, all compensate? Who would stock the shelves? The bosses took over. Would they do it just as well? Does the clothing sell itself, putting dollars in their pockets? No? Does the cash register a profit? You the people, stand up. We the people, get your hands up. Unless you in handcuffs, I want to see you amped up. We the people, keep them hands up. You the people, stand up. We the people, get your hands up. Unless you in handcuffs, I want to see you amped up. We the people, keep them hands up. Muhammad Ali, happy May Day, peace y'all.
Muhammad. Next up, I'm going to call Amy Cortez to the stage. Amy is an organizer and peer leader with the Caregivers Action Center here in Toronto. Before coming to Canada, Amy worked as a migrant caregiver in Cyprus, where she organized with other caregivers for better working and living conditions. Amy has fought alongside other caregivers across Ontario for fair and decent work, and is happy that February of this year, her 4 children have finally joined her here in Canada. Big round of applause for Amy.
We the people, your hands up, and can you read those? You the people, we the people, our voice out. Can you read that? Migrants don't sell the job. Category is corporate. Okay. So this is the extension of Muhammad Ali. We voice, we shout. Muhammad, just a little touch up, just our hands up. Voice up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am under living caregiver when I came here 2007. I have a question. Why are you here, people? Why I am here? Why are we here now? That's because of May Day? Do you think so? Why are you here? So there is a purpose from your bottom of your heart and your mind. So that's the taking action that we are here together with a May Day. Because we are people, we are working, and we are human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that here in Canada, from the Philippines, people of the Philippines, caregivers of the Philippines, we are so excited to come here in Canada. Number 1 is to work better life. Number 2 is Philippines, we don't have snow. We are so excited to touch and to see and to play under the snow. So we're so excited to come over here and better life and a good money. But then, there's a lot of stories under the living caregiver. Sad stories. That's what I don't have, but I have a friends, a lot. When the caregivers come over here, they have a good employer, but some release upon arrival. Did you hear that? At the airport, they came in, say hello, and then they don't have any employer. It's so sad, jobless. Why? Because of the paid agencies, because of the people behind them, just making money. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the caregivers here in Canada. They're so excited to have money, to look after the children, to look after the elderly, wake up anytime, get up anytime, just to say hello to the employers, but the employers come not you. It's been here for staying in Canada for 2007 until 7 years. I've got only my PR and my family just 2 months ago. Just imagine that for a long time. For your information, the caregiver wants landed status now. Landed status now because we are not allowed to apply a permanent residence without 2 years contract, and after that we have to apply for the permanent residence with all the requirements to submit it to the immigration. We have to wait. We have to undergo medical. We have to undergo all the examination, the paperwork. So if we're not qualified, we have to go back to the Philippines. So I have a story for also a Jesam. She's working 6 years with her employer, and her employer keep asking, keep telling, keep begging until that they have a benefit of what they said. But at the end of the day, Jesam didn't get paid or no benefit. So they're working nights and days, look after the children. So Guys, we want landed status now. And about the village is working also as a caregiver, but they also have a cash job because of it's not enough. We got only a minimum pay. We got only a small salary. Some employers just ignore it. Believe me, they just sacrifice us with all just because of the permanent residence we want here in Canada. Just because of Canada, we believe that it's a better life. We paid also taxes as the same of the immigrants, but we are not allowed to go the other employees. Like nannies, not only nannies, not only caregivers, but also farmers. The farmers look after the vegetables, the animals, and for food. But without food, without farmers, without food, how can we live? But we're the same as our situation. So guys, for your information, we need landed status now. Landed status now for all caregivers. Landed status now.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all. I give you the information. For the caregivers, I have your support. We need only for landed status here in Canada. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Amy. Our next speaker is going to be talking about anti-poverty and anti-austerity organizing in Toronto, Josephine Gray. Josephine has been a human rights activist for over 30 years, using economic, social, and cultural rights to empower low-income communities and connect diverse social movements both locally and globally. Jo co-founded LIFT, Low-Income Families Together, the Center for Social Justice, the Income Security Advocacy Center, and Project Esperance, Housing for Survivors of Domestic Violence, and was the chair of Food Share Toronto. I'd like to welcome Josephine to the stage.
Thank you. Oh, it's great to see everybody here today. Finally, a beautiful May Day. You know, poverty has gotten a lot worse in this city, and it doesn't have to be like this, but it has gotten an awful lot worse because we've been subjected to decades of corporate greed, decades of austerity, decades of selfish, narrow-minded interests. They use private banks and they use corporate domination through trade agreements to tear apart our natural ways of organizing and living as communities and families. In this beautiful city, where people have come together from around the world, where we have people who are migrants or immigrants or whatever you want to call it, we're all here on the land of First Nations people, and we can no longer be idle, any of us, and we must stand in solidarity together to make this city what it should be, the meeting place of peoples from around the planet. This country's become a pariah in the world. Our leaders are in complete denial of climate change, and yet it's upon us, and it's something we have to be ready to work together to solve and to adapt. It's something we have to be ready to help each other. We must have solidarity, we must have equity, and we must have justice if we're going to survive. But the elite that lead this country are incapable of even imagining such a reality. And yet, we know that we in this city, and all of the people here today, and all the people who are still in their jobs, their pretty shitty jobs all over the city, we all know it can be done and we must do it. When we resist injustice, we must demand change. We must demand solutions. We must actually work on these solutions together. We cannot wait for the banksters and the Prime Minister and the criminal, greedy corporate dominators to suddenly wake up and be nice to us. It's not going to happen. We have to reclaim our resources. We have to reclaim the commons. We have to reclaim our time, our communities, our families. We have to stand up together. It's not just black lives that matter, it's all lives that matter, but black lives are on the front line of being mowed down. of legalized racism. You have a new chief, just like the old chief, who still thinks that carding is just fine. It's not fine. My children are black children. My children are also Native children. And I stand here as a grandmother to tell you today, I refuse to be labeled as a terrorist by Bill C-51 because I believe in standing up for their right to a future. We have to make clear demands and we have to make them every day. We can't just be angry, we have to be solid. We have to stand together and make demands for human rights. We ignore and we forget our human rights at our peril. We forget that they are in fact supposed to be the law of this land. We can demand that. Those human rights are what we need. This is how we're going to get decent jobs. This is how we're going to get a basic income so we can transform our economy so that people don't have to work at destroying our world. We have to take back our public revenue. We have to take back the public bank and make it work for us. We can even take back the military, make them clean up the environment and help people in disasters. They're ours. We pay for them. We have these rights and we can demand them. We can't just resist. We have to act. We have to take action. We have to do it all the time. We have to do it every day. Today, May Day is just one day. We got to keep going. When we end up in James Park, maybe we should stay for the weekend. After all, that's where we occupied before. Are we going to stop now? Are we going to give up today? No. This is a beginning and we're going to keep going. We're going to have to fight very hard this summer, all summer long, against austerity and greed, against the theft of our public dollars, against the theft of our time and our lives. We're going to have to maybe ask for international observers to stop Harper from stealing another election. We should be talking to our security forces, our brothers in arms and such, and ask them to defend us, defend our land and defend our water from fracking and all the things that destroy our future. We have to change all the systems that destroy our future, and we have to do it together. Our unions are evolving. They're getting stronger. They've gotten a wake-up call. We need to work together with them, like our brothers and sisters in Quebec, who are out there all over their province today with us. Let us call out solidarity to our brothers and sisters in Quebec. Vive la Quebec! Don't let them stand alone. We all need to stand together. This country is a young nation, and we need to work with those who built it before we came along to make sure that it's a strong nation. It is a nation that can help the rest of the world come together, because we are the most diverse nation and the most diverse city in the world. And let us not let them divide us. Let us not let them silence us. This is a place where we can say, free the political prisoners in Iran. This is a place where we can stand and say, you will not murder people in Mexico for trying to call out corruption of Canadian banks. This is a place where we must demand our freedom to speak to all these issues, because we are the world. And we can help the world and we can help each other. So I hope today on this May Day that we all remember every day that we have to do this together, because if we don't, we won't have a future. Climate change is here, food security is threatened, water security is threatened. We here have a duty and a responsibility to defend our land, our water, our rights, and each other. So let us do that from today and onwards for every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. Next, I'm going to call up our next performer, Estefania, also goes by Yes. She was a member of the 2014 Canadian Festival of Spoken Word Championship team. She is 21 years young and an immigrant from Cuba. She's okay most days, and occasionally she's even great, but at the very least she never fails to entertain, because she tells us that politics and the world suck, but sometimes you just need to laugh. Also, fun fact, Stephen Harper stole her dog, so she says, fuck you, Harper. Please welcome Stefania to the stage.
start my poem, I would like to do a moment of noise for all of the people we've lost this year. I don't know about you guys, but I've lost some really amazing people. So if we could just, for like 30 seconds, make noise, maybe? Thank you. This poem is called Immigration/Canada Sucks. Oh, Canada, land of free healthcare, home of the beaver and hockey. And how welcome Canadians, eh? Boy, is it ever cold up here, colder than the shivers from a homeless body, colder than the smile of a white employer after he says, we'll be in touch, colder than the divisions placed on frozen land. Red Rover, no one called you over. Before this was Canada, it was a British colony. And before it was a British colony, it was a Ojibwe, Blackfoot, free. In 1879, the Canadian government began tearing pages out of colored history books as they took Native children into grayscale residential schools. They called it aggressive civilization. It was cultural genocide. The priests prayed and preyed on children too young to know they weren't God. They called it killing the Indian in the child. It was institutionalized pedophilia. They built a railroad to unite Canada. Neat little winding railroad tracks like unmarked graves for the foreign workers that built them. Stop. Do you have your worker's permit? Stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail. Stop. Canadian immigration law allows officers to detain people to protect the health, safety, and security of this great country. The true north, strong and heavy-handed. Michael Mbogo has been in immigration detention for 8 years. In America, if a person isn't deported after 90 days, they're released. Perhaps we're not as polite as we thought. Immigration laws cage people into our land under the pretense of not letting them into our land. Funny, we stole it. Canadian immigration works on a point system. You need 67 points to get in. Completion of high school, 5 points. PhD or master's degree, 25 points. Over 21, under 49, 10 points. Under 16, over 54, no points. If you manage to get 67 points, you will also need $10,000 minimum. We only take people with money, people with power, people who look like our first immigrants, those accustomed to living with the privilege of first world providence. Remember when American slaves tunneled through the Underground Railroad seeking freedom in Canada, only to have Canada evict their descendants to make room for a dog park so that white people's poodles could tunnel just deep enough to bury their shit? Stop! Last year in Quebec, they tried to ban public displays of religious affection. No hijabs, no crosses, no yarmulkes. Speaking of yarmulkes, Drizzy Drake's on his worst behavior. Stephen Harper's on his worst behavior. Justin Bieber's on his worst behavior. Racist, high, ignorant ass, worst behavior. Canada's on its worst behavior, penetrating our land with pipelines for oil. Full stop. Oh, Canada, damn, that's whack. We started from the bottom and we're still here. We used to be a peacekeeping, poutine-loving environmental leader. Now we're just yes men. Sidekicks in the American dream, hoping to one day wake up and have nothing to apologize for. Until then, sorry.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Estefania. All right, next up we have Elaine Lamb, who's going to be speaking to gender justice. Elaine Lamb has advocated for sex workers' rights, migrant rights, labor rights, and gender equality for more than 15 years. She's the co-founder of Migrant Sex Workers Project, founder of Butterfly, which is an Asian migrant sex worker support network.
Thank you very much. So you see the umbrella. Umbrella represents all the sex workers. They cannot come here because of the decriminalization, because of the criminalization, and also because of the discrimination. The butterfly represents all the migrants. They are being excluded, and they cannot come here. We also want to honor all the sex workers and migrants. Those they are missing and being murdered because of the racism. because of the sexism, because of all the oppression of the society. Why we need to talk about the gender justice? Because it is important. It is our matter. Because of our body, our gender, our sexuality, we are being discriminated, being excluded. The government and the people in power take away our rights. The immigration policy and also the labor policy only give the door open to who? Only the privileged, rich, white men can access. How about all the racialized color community, especially be true to our gender and our sexuality? We don't want to conform with the society standard. How they treat us, they criminalize us, they stop us to do what we are doing. You see, butterfly and umbrella never can be catched. We like to fly everywhere. However, they make us illegal. They make us need to work in a very, very exploitative situation. We receive low pay, even no pay sometimes. And long working time, bad working conditions, no protection, no safety, and so many violence happen in the workplace. Even we are the people with all the different skills, but they are not recognized. We can take care of the children very well. We know how to catch the duck. We know how to plant the corn, and we know how to have good sex. However, everything being treated as unskilled and even illegal. So all the farmer, caretaker, factory worker, entertainer, and sex worker is being oppressed. Our body is being controlled. We want to be ourselves. When the people follow their hearts with their gender and sexuality, they are being punished by the government. They are being discriminated by the society. When the people want to sell the sex, because sometimes sex work is the good way to anti the capitalism, because we are the entrepreneur. So we open our business. We don't want to work in factory or restaurant to being oppressed. However, when we choose to work by ourselves, how to use our body, they make us become criminalized. They stop us to work. They force us to go back to the very, very bad working condition. All the moral condemn and criminalization make us underground, make us become more dangerous. I met one Chinese sex worker here. She was the healer. She knows how to use the medicine to cure the people so well. However, because of the colonialism, her expertise do not recognize. She cannot heal the people. She cannot help the people here. She works in a factory with 20 hours. Every day, Amy gets $7 per hour, under the minimum wage. But no one cares. But when she gets the injury in her work, she cannot get any compensation. But when she chose to work in a massage parlor, she was always arrested and harassed by the police. And they are discriminated. And she cannot tell their family, because our society don't recognize sex work actually is a work. So this is so important. We need to know that we are working. We are working to support ourselves and to unite ourselves. She was being robbed 4 times in a week. Robbed 4 times. She is being treated as the automatic machine, so anyone can go to take the money. The police can go there to get a free sex service because they think that they can do whatever today. And the police don't protect us. They arrest us and oppress us. And it is not only one story. It is the story we hear every day. Our sister, our family member, always being assaulted, robbed, or murdered. Who killed us? It's not only the murder. It's the racism. It's the discrimination that make us worse. So we want just sister is being rescued by the police as the victim of trafficking. But what happened to her? She was detained in the detention center for 10 days and need to pay $2,000 in order to come out. So, this is all racism, sexism, and it is all harmful for us. We want to say no one is illegal. Sex work is work. Sex work is work. Blowjob is job. Blowjob is job. Sex workers' rights is labor right. Labor rights is labor right. We don't want to have any criminal law against us. We want decriminalization. The new law really already brings a lot of negative impact to our community. I hope all of you, no matter your religion, your cultural background, it's so important. All of you recognize sex work is a real job. All of us use our body in different ways to support ourselves and to be true to ourselves. It is so important to get the support from all of you. We would like to have justice for migrants, justice for queer, justice for workers, justice for sex workers, and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Elaine. So I'm just going to go over some logistical information and then we're going to get going. So we're going to head straight to Bay where there's an access ramp right over there, just underneath that cement ramp, and then down to Queen. We're going to have two sound trucks, one in the front, one in the back with linked sound, and there is an accessibility van. Marshals are wearing a red armband, and legal observers are wearing orange hats. So if you are looking for the march, just follow the large banner that says Dare to Struggle, Dare to Win, and follow the noise. Let's hear it! And applause!
عوض شد اسمونت یا اسمونت عوض شد قانون معلمان قانونم جدا پس اونا رو نیاوردیم اونم هست دست up.